Hey, good morning, everyone. Hey, I should put my headset in. Sometimes you just gotta laugh. And you know what? Actually, the fact that I forgot my headset is a perfect setup for what we're talking about today. So thank you for being here. Short notice, impromptu Facebook Live, but that's okay. So thank you for being here. Welcome. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the mindset that you need for achieving your success on Facebook, for getting more clients on Facebook, for getting more customers. I'm trying to get lined up with my camera here. There we go. That's kind of strange. Anyways, the mindset that you need to get more customers and clients from Facebook, to fill more programs, to get your calendar filled with appointments for discovery sessions and strategy sessions with your ideal clients. So important. And I know you are spending so much time on Facebook and you are learning from a lot of different people and you're applying a bunch of different techniques, and some of you are still not getting the results that you want. And I get it. It can be challenging. And well, we need to learn the right techniques and we need to learn the right skill set and we need to understand how to do Facebook ads. There's all those pieces. There's so many of those to do. There's also the other side, which is our mindset. And that's what we're going to talk about today. That mindset that you need that will change your experience on Facebook from one of challenge and frustration and annoyance and downright anger in some cases, hopelessness, fed up. I see a lot of people, sharing that they feel that way. The mindset shift will change things. Then you can focus on the skill set for the tasks at hand, okay? So we're going to talk about mindset. So if you're watching live, please just in the comments, let me know where you're joining me from. I'd love to know who's here and where you're watching from. If you're watching live or if you're watching in the replay later on, I'd love to know. I'd also love to know what your business is, what you do. And if you want to share your Facebook page with me, please do it in the comments to this video, because I would love to have an opportunity to go and look at your page later on and definitely throw you a like and possibly be able to reach out to you and give you some suggestions as well. So if you're watching, when you're watching, tell me where you're watching from, who you are, what your business is, and share your Facebook page. Okay? And then also, if you have any questions that come up during this, pop those in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them. As well, if you want to have a conversation with me after this, just PM me, send me a message, leave a comment that you'd like to talk, and we'll get together and have a conversation. It doesn't have to be a big, huge thing here. So mindset is so important. Do you typically have big dreams and big plans and then struggle with getting the results that you want from your time on Facebook? I know a lot of people spend a lot of time on Facebook, but they don't always get the results that they want. They aren't really sure what they're doing or why they're doing it, and they feel like, well, I have to, because it's part of marketing my business these days. I have to be on these social channels, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So do you sometimes post and you think, this is the post, this is the one, people are going to really get this and they're going to really love what I have to say and they're going to reply, there's going to be so much engagement around this, I'm going to have just the best result from this post or this ad, only to hear the squeak of crickets. Well, I've been there too. I've heard that for sure. And do you think that running an ad only to feel like, do you run ads, your Facebook ads, only to feel like you're wasting your time and money and then feel discouraged about the results? Others make it look so easy. And, I've been there. I'm celebrating in September this year, 6 years in business. To me, that's an amazing milestone. When I started this business, I didn't think 6 months ahead, let alone 6 years. I certainly didn't think I'd be doing business this long, and I didn't think that I would be getting almost 100%, I'd say 90% of my clients, my customers, the people who enroll in my programs come from Facebook. From what I do on Facebook and from the engagement and the connections that I make on Facebook. So, I sure didn't think that 6 years ago. And I spent a lot of time. I probably spent the first 3 years struggling with, getting lots of local clients and not doing a lot on Facebook myself for my own business. Helping them with their business was what my first 3 years was about. Then things shifted a little bit, and I started focusing on growing my business a little bit more and dedicating my time to Facebook. I probably spent the next 2 years, year and a half, frustrated, feeling like, what am I doing wrong? I can't even say I'm a Facebook expert, because I can't even get the results that I tell people are possible. I know these results are possible, but I was not getting them. I was so frustrated, and I thought about quitting my business and getting a job so many times, believe me. And then around 2015, the last 2 years, things shifted. I got the right mentors, I got the right training, and I shifted my mindset. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. Okay, so don't be fooled by those ads that you see, those posts that you see where somebody says, hey, I ran an ad and I made $1 million on the weekend, and they back that claim up with a picture of a big fancy car or of an airplane that they're standing beside as if they bought a jet. They've got beautiful homes on the beach with private pools, and sitting and working at the beach. They back up these claims that they ran an ad, made $1 million on the weekend with these massive pictures that seem to support what they're saying. And I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm not saying that there's no truth to that at all. It very well may be true. But what they aren't showing you is the work that went in behind that to create that overnight weekend sensation moment that we all deserve, we could all have, and we are all going to look like some sort of overnight success from it. But what they aren't sharing with you is all the stuff that went on behind the scenes, all the ads that didn't work, all the ads that were failures, all the money they spent on testing, all of the times that they tried to engage their community and didn't. And anybody who tells you that they didn't have those moments are lying. Kind of nervous making that big statement, but I'm not going to qualify it. If they're telling you that they set up one ad, they made $1 million, they're an overnight sensation, I'd like to meet them and talk to them, because unless they've got all that stuff in the background, they are not telling you the truth. They're telling you the moment that things shifted for them. And the reason why they got to that moment is their mindset. So let's talk about that mindset, okay? So the number one mindset that you need to shift to start getting more success, more clients, more customers on Facebook. This is probably the thing that in 2015 changed things for me the most, and it still today is true, okay? Things will not work the way you think they will. In fact, about 90% of the time, things just will not work the way you think you will. It's crazy. 90% of your Facebook ads will not work the way you think they will. 90% of your Facebook posts will not work the way you think they will. And 90% of your Facebook lives will not work the way you think they will. That means you got to do 10 to get one that really takes off. One ad, one post, one Facebook live. You've got to do 9 that don't result in what you want to get one that really does. And you know what? That's a good thing. And I'll tell you why. Because those 9 that didn't work are not failures like I used to think of them as. I used to get 5 of those and think, well, that's a failure. What I'm offering isn't right. What I'm doing isn't right. And I would stop what I'm doing and adjust and change things up, and I'd start at 0 again, and I'd start at 1, and I'd go to 5 again of failures, and I'd say, well, that's it. I'm a failure. And I'd move on to the next thing. And I never got to the 9th one. I never got to the 10th one where the success is sitting, because those 9 are giving you market research. They're feedback to you from your audience about what is working. If you are hearing silence in your message, if you are not getting the engagement that you want, There's so many pieces to look at to see what are the pieces that aren't working, right? There's lots you can adjust, but silence, crickets, no response, look at those all as positive feedback. You're getting information. You posted something. Did nobody say anything? Did nobody respond? Did you get no likes, no comments, no shares? Did you post at the right time? Did you post the right type of content? And did you make sure that that it spoke to the right people? Maybe not. Try something else. Okay? If you can absorb this one today, that's the most important thing. Because so many of us have a great idea, and we know it's going to be good for ourselves and for our customers. It's going to solve our clients' #1 problem. And we get into the 5th post about it, the 5th blog post about it, the 5th newsletter about it, the 5th Facebook Live about it, the 5th ad about it, and we aren't getting the results that we want yet. And so we quit and move on to the next thing. Don't do that. Stick it out to 10, because it takes 9 of those that don't work in order to get to 1 that does. Okay, that's my biggest nugget for you. Stick it out. 90% of the time, it's not going to work the way you think it's going to. And if you internalize that, if you make that personal, like I did in the first 5 years of my business, first 4 years of my business, if you do that and make it personal, then you will see yourself as a failure. It'll hurt you. It'll make you feel bad about yourself. You'll think you don't know what you're doing. You'll think there's something wrong somewhere. Maybe you'll start changing who you're talking to. You'll start looking at changing your ideal customer. You'll start changing your messaging before you've truly tested it. That's testing. That's testing your messaging, testing your imagery, testing your branding, testing your offer, testing the knowledge that you have about your ideal client. Don't stop before you get to the result. And remember that there are no failures. The only time it's a failure is if you stop and you didn't learn anything and you don't continue. You have to learn from all of these. Okay, so 90% of the time, things are not going to work the way you think that they are going to, and you've got to stick it out. You cannot internalize that or personalize that message. You've got to stick it out and go for the long game. Okay, Facebook is a long game. All right, so that is tip #1 and probably the most important one. Okay, the second mindset shift I want to see you make is understand that absolutely anyone can do Facebook marketing. Anyone. Okay, it is a skill, it's a task, it's a series of tasks, it's knowledge that can be learned by pretty much anyone. Okay, so you don't need to be a big guru. You don't need to hire a massive guru. You don't have to, have a math degree. You don't have to have a marketing degree. Anyone can learn how to do this. The key is cut through the bullshit and don't waste your time doing the things that aren't going to work. So there's a lot of things you can spend your time doing on Facebook. Stop doing the things that aren't going to get you the result. Really get focused. If you're going to follow experts or gurus, follow the ones that have a system. Follow the ones that have a formula that they have implemented for themselves and for their audience. And it has worked. They show you that it's worked. They've got other people saying that it works. Then follow the formula that they're doing. Don't just follow the Facebook expert who says, I did this for myself and it resulted in these results, and so you should do it too. Because that doesn't necessarily translate to you. That's their case study that works. And that's great that it worked for them. It got them the result that they wanted. That's terrific. That doesn't mean they've got a system in place that's going to work for you, that they can teach you, that you can adopt and implement for yourself, and you can see the same results from. Okay, so just because somebody else has done it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So always make sure you follow an expert that has got a system that they use for themselves, so they represent it in their own business, but they do it for other people. So, but anybody can learn this thing called Facebook marketing. Anybody can. So you can, I did. Listen, I started my business in 2011. I was almost 50 years old. And, I had never run a business for myself that supported anything. And I'd gotten just on Facebook just a few years before, and I was so nervous about going on Facebook, I set up a fake Gmail account to open my Facebook account because I was terrified of anybody seeing me on Facebook. It's funny to think about that. Hey, if I can do that and turn this into a business where 90% of my clients come from Facebook, you can too. Okay? You can definitely do this. Anyone can do it. So don't believe people when they tell you that you've got to hire them. You can learn how to do it yourself. Okay, so then mindset number 3, consistent effort is the key. Okay, now refer back to number 1 because you aren't going to take consistent effort if you think that your one ad is going to make you $1 million and you run your ad, you spend money, and you don't make $1 million. You're not going to be consistent. You're going to quit. Consistency is the key. This is the thing that you've got to wash, rinse, repeat every day. So this is so important that you are consistent with this. And that means showing up when you say you're going to show up, that you're there, that you are always making that presence known, okay? So be consistent. And if consistency is hurting, if you're struggling with your consistency because you are taking your results personally and not looking at them at market research, refer back to that mindset number 1. Okay? Remember, 90% of the time, it's not going to work the way you think it's going to. Okay? Mindset number 4. Frequency is equally as important as consistency. So do what works. Now go back to number 1 again because that's going to tell you what works, but do what works often. More often than you think you should. Facebook is a loud, crowded space. How many people on Facebook? 2 billion active users? That's crazy. That's insane. It's hard to think about how big that is. There's a lot going on. You're allowed to okay, so you're allowed 5,000 friends on your personal profile. Randomly, you're allowed to like 5,000 pages on Facebook. Imagine if you liked 5,000 pages and you had 5,000 friends. How busy would your newsfeed be? You couldn't consume all the information that comes out in 30 minutes, right? So how do you stand out? Well, first off, you've got to be there often. So that means you've got to post more than once a day, more than once a week. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. So that means that people aren't going to see things that you post the first time that you post it. And just because you posted it once and you get no result, if you take that personally, then you're not going to be consistent and you're not going to be frequently. So go back to number 1 and stop taking it personally and recognize that you've got to post more than once in order for people to see you. So maybe they aren't going to see it the first time. Maybe you posted it and they came on 31 minutes later and they didn't scroll far enough down in their very busy, very loud, very crowded newsfeed. And so they didn't see whatever it was you created for them. So you got to post it again and again and again. Now, I'm not saying post the same thing on your Facebook page every day, but I'm saying tweak it and twist it and try different pictures and try different images, but post, participate, engage, create on Facebook more often than you think you should. 3 times a week is not enough. Once a week is not enough. Okay? This leads perfectly into mindset number 5, create a marketing habit. So in order to meet your frequency and your consistency goals, you've got to have the habit in place. And like I said, I know in the first, from 2011 to 2013, 2 years when I was first starting out, I did not have a habit of marketing my business. And in 2013, I went, well, crap, I'm spending all this time helping other people grow their businesses, and my business doesn't represent what I'm helping people do. So I'm helping other people grow their Facebook pages, build engaged communities, fill their programs, fill their client roster, get their appointments filled. But I'm not doing it for myself, and my presence on Facebook wasn't representing it that I could do that for you. So how would anybody believe me when I say I'm a Facebook marketing expert if my page had 100 likes on it? Doesn't look very authentic, does it? So what I did in 2013 that changed everything, after I learned about the mindset, is after I learned about the 90% rule, I created a marketing habit. And I set it on my calendar. I set 1 hour a day. First thing a day, I put that on my calendar, and it was non-negotiable. I didn't take appointments during that time. I didn't answer the phone during that time. Sometimes I didn't even answer my kids when they needed something. I said, this is my hour to market my business, and I made it as non-negotiable as showering and eating, because it is the lifeblood. It is the bread and butter of growing your business. That 1 hour a day has been so significant in changing the look of my business. That's when I answered requests for interviews, for summits, for podcasts. Those have just increased. The number of invitations I get for those have increased because I made that marketing hour happen. You can start with an hour a day, okay? I want you to set this in your calendar and make it non-negotiable. Then expect that 90% of what you do in that hour is not going to work the way you wanted it to, but you're going to come back again tomorrow and you're going to do it again. Okay, those are the top 5. Now, bonus number 6, mindset, is it's about knowing what your customer wants and needs, and then giving it to them, and then helping them to easily take action. Okay, that's kind of a big one. There's a lot in there, but you have to know what your client, your customer, your ideal avatar, customer, client, what they need. Now, they may tell you what they want, that may not be what they need, and you need to know that. And then you need to give it to them, right? You need to create a freebie, a lead magnet. You need to do a Facebook Live to talk about it. You need to somehow package that knowledge up and give it to them. And then you need to make it easy for them to take action. You need to help them take action. Make the decision to work with you. Make the decision to come into your program. Have the pieces in place so that when they say, yes, I'm ready, you don't go, I got to scramble to get the PayPal button created. I got to scramble to create a landing page. You got to have those pieces in place. So you can learn this. And this goes back to number 1 again. It all goes back to that 90% rule. Ask a question in a post, and if no one answers, that is your feedback. So you got to look at a few things. Did I post at the right time? Did I use the right type of post? Did I ask the right question? When you've answered those and you've hit people enough times that they actually will pay attention, whether you get silence or you get engagement, then you get market research, and this helps you to know your ideal customer better, your ideal client better. It helps you to present yourself as the solution to their biggest problem. Okay, so that was bonus number 6. So those are 6 really important mindset shifts that you need to make to really be successful in Facebook. I saw a post from a friend of mine a few minutes ago, Jessica Carter. She's amazing video guru, helps people take video to a whole nother level, including Facebook Lives. And she had a post, 100 days left in the year. It's kind of scary. But I'll tell you what, you got 100 days to make a huge difference on your Facebook page. And you can. And I hear people every day say, well, I post on my profile, not on my page, because I get my engagement on my profile. I guarantee you that what you focus on is where you're going to get your attention. So if you focus on your profile, that's where your engagement will be. If you focused on your page, that's where your engagement would be. So I'm going to challenge you to use your Facebook page as you would your profile. Adopt these 6 Facebook marketing mindsets, and then really focus your attention on your Facebook page. At the end of 100 days, what would it look like? What would your business look like? What would your Facebook presence look like? What would your authority positioning look like? And what would it look like to have people saying to you, hey, I want to work with you, because your Facebook page really represents who you are, what you're about, what you do, and what you do for others. Okay, so share in your comments, share in the comments of this video what you're going to do, how you're going to change things. You got 100 days. I've got an amazing program coming up that's going to take up a chunk of those 100 days. I'd love to talk to you about it. If you are interested in talking to me about the ultimate Facebook client attraction formula program, please leave a message in the comments and let me know, and I will get in touch with you, and we will have a quick 10-minute conversation to see if this is the program for you that will change your business, your life, and your Facebook presence in 100 days in the end of 2017. Okay, let me know if you're interested. I'd love to have a quick chat with you and tell you what the program's about and tell you how it's going to help you grow your business and get more clients on Facebook. That's it for me today. Watch for more of these Facebook Lives. I got a lot of more content I'm going to share with you. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to seeing you on Facebook.